Alright, we're back to exploring Kyoto again today, but today what we're actually doing is, well, first thing, getting me a coffee from Starbucks because, gotta be honest, I'm absolutely clanging for another coffee. Didn't sleep particularly well last night, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. We're going to one of the rail museums here. It's meant to be pretty excellent. Laura actually found that last night, so we're doing that first. And then after that, we're going back to Gion, and we're actually going to explore Gion a lot more today, which we're both really looking forward to. After that, we've also got a show tonight, which is like a geisha show and a tea ceremony performance type thing, which should actually be really cool. So that's basically on the agenda today. We'll see how we go. More photos and highlights and videos and all that kind of stuff coming up soon. This is pretty great. We're just inside one of these old rail carriages here, and we're not even at the museum at the moment, but it's just fantastic. Like, they actually just let you walk around in here. Obviously you can't touch anything or very much at all, but they've restored it. Like, it's actually kept in beautiful, like really good nick, and it's amazing. And for a train buff like me, particularly someone who loves locomotives and loves steam, and as a kid that was my initial thing. I always wanted to be a train driver. That was my first real ambition for a job, and it's still implanted within me to just love and adore steam and rail. This to me is just fantastic. I'm in my element right now. We're just outside the Kyoto Umekoji, which is, or what Laura has told me, is the train museum itself, and I'm getting a little bit amped up because obviously this is going to be a museum all about trains and rail and steam and all that wonderful kind of stuff. So I can't wait to get in there and just be like a big kid in a candy store and just explore to my heart's content. So here I am in one of the old locomotives here at the train museum here in Kyoto, and it's just fantastic actually to be sitting in the seat that an actual train driver would actually be in. Is just awesome to me. It's brilliant. So cool. So cool. As I'm making my way around the Kyoto Train Museum, I'm just realising just how versatile this place actually is. There's all sorts of exhibits that you can go into here, particularly the first ground floor here. They've got all sorts of trains from all the different eras. You can walk in them, you can press buttons, you can operate aspects of them, you can move and change things, and it's actually built to be a very interactive place. So it not only makes the trains interesting enough to just people who maybe, you know, are a little bit curious about trains, but for the train buffs, it just adds that extra level of just pure excitement. Just behind me here, the Kyoto Train Museum is without a doubt the greatest train set I've ever seen in my life. If I could ask for one toy this Christmas, it's this. I wish. This thing is amazing. It's huge. I don't know how long it would have taken to make, construct, or to maintain, or whatever. It's just an absolute joy to just be in this room. It's wicked. Outside the Kyoto Train Museum, there is an actual working steam train just here. And not to mention the fact as well that just over this side they've actually got, it's almost like a proper docking or a siding station, if you will, where all of the actual steam locomotives are housed, and they've got the proper turntable and everything. It looks like it's fully functional. I just have to check that fact, but it really does look like these are fully functioning locomotive engines. This is absolutely insane. It's amazing. If you are a train buff and you are in Japan, you owe it to yourself. Get to this museum. The fact that they'll actually let you get inside one of these historic locomotives and just have a bit of a look around for museum purposes is wonderful. It's just fantastic. You can actually board one of the steam trains just over there at the platform. This place is amazing. Well, we've just finished our tour here at the Kyoto Train Museum, and it's, for me, it's been like a dream come true. So
Someone's a happy boy.
for this. I'm very, very, very happy boy. I also discovered as well in the previous video or so, I said I wasn't 100% sure that I thought that the locomotives in here were functioning locomotives. It looked like the yard itself was actually maintained and that they were actually upkeeping, or keeping the upkeep, I should say, sorry, on the locomotives themselves so that they were functional. They're not, but they do have one that is clearly functional. So obviously that's the train that they use for the people that come to the museum. Nonetheless, for a museum to have locomotives in that condition, to think that they are actually functioning, goes to show just the quality of this museum. It is absolutely wonderful. Trust me, if you're in the area, check it out. Okay, this is an area of Kyoto known as Shimbashi. It's a very old, traditional area, highly populated, lots of tourists here, lots of locals, some very, very interesting shops that tend to sell things like obviously the traditional geisha robes, gowns, attire, and other various sort of eclectic shops as well. It's quite beautiful actually, definitely worth checking out. And considering that you veer off on one of the main streets here in Kyoto, lots of buses, lots of traffic, and then all of a sudden you just take a left turn and then suddenly you're in this place here and it's completely different. There's a completely different vibe to it. It's much more chilled, and as I said, there is a hubbub here. There is definitely a lot of tourist activity, but there is a very classic ancient cultural feel. Definitely worth seeing. So this is night in Gion. After leaving and seeing the amazing variety show, including the geisha dance, the comedy act, and of course the Borucan puppet show. It's definitely an area that's worth sort of just wandering around and just checking out and experiencing for yourself. Tons of eateries, lots of different places open. I should also mention that these areas are frequented by both people and by all sorts of things, taxis and bicycles and everything else that's around it that you can imagine. It's an incredibly busy area. So it's definitely one that you come out into expecting not to be quiet. You're not going to have a quiet night usually in Gion.
I want to make a point as
Or in
well.
Gion, I should say.
This is something you read up about. Obviously, we've come in the off-season and it's still busy. But if you go during spring, which is cherry blossom season, apparently you can't even move down the streets. Like, traffic can't even move down the streets because of just how many people want to come for cherry blossom picking.
Wow.
So I'd say if you want to experience the best of Gion and you don't like traffic or crowds, maybe come when it's not spring or summer, because otherwise you're just going to end up getting really annoyed by all the traffic and the people and just everything busy.
So there you go. We've actually come during not too bad a time apparently, and even then I'm telling you, it's busy. It's really busy.